Number 2. Wolverine. Logan. The man who proves that being shredded isn't about height, it's about density. At 5 feet 3 inches, Wolverine packs more functional muscle per square inch than heroes twice his size. The healing factor gives him an insane advantage. He can train harder, recover faster, and push his body beyond normal human limits. But here's what people miss. Logan was already a beast before he got the adamantium skeleton. Decades of survival training, military combat, and constant fighting built that base. Wolverine represents maximum efficiency. Every muscle serves a purpose. Nothing is wasted on show. He's built for one thing, surviving whatever gets thrown at him. That kind of functional conditioning creates a physique that's intimidating despite his size. Real-world application: work with your genetics, don't fight them. If you're naturally shorter, focus on building density and strength. If you're taller, use that reach advantage. Wolverine maximized what he had instead of wishing he was something else. Number 5. Spiderman. Peter Parker. The enhanced teenager who proves that proportional strength can create an incredibly lean, functional physique. Spider powers gave him the strength of a spider proportional to his size, but he still had to develop the coordination and endurance to use those powers effectively. The spider bite enhanced his natural abilities, but think about what that actually means. Parker was already a smart, athletic teenager. The powers just amplified his existing potential. Plus, web slinging is basically the ultimate full-body workout. Constant core engagement, explosive movements, and incredible coordination requirements. Spider-Man's physique represents enhanced teenage metabolism taken to its logical extreme. Fast recovery, lean muscle development, and the kind of energy that lets you swing around New York all night and still make it to school the next day. Real-world application: youth is an advantage, but only if you use it. Parker's powers forced him to stay active and constantly challenge his body. That kind of consistent, varied movement is what builds functional athleticism. Don't waste your natural recovery abilities. Number 9. Nightwing. Dick Grayson. And yes, I'm putting the student above some of the most famous heroes in fiction. Why? Because Nightwing represents the perfect evolution of Batman's training philosophy with the added benefit of circus acrobatics. Grayson was already an elite acrobat before Batman got his hands on him. Then he got the full Batman training regimen on top of that. The result? A physique that combines the lean muscle of a gymnast with the functional strength of a martial artist. He's got the flexibility to do things Batman physically can't. The lesson here is specialization plus foundation. Nightwing took his natural acrobatic gifts and built a complete fighting machine around them. He didn't abandon his circus training. He enhanced it with everything Batman could teach him. Real-world application: don't abandon what you're naturally good at. Build on it. If you're naturally flexible, add strength training. If you're naturally strong, add mobility work. Nightwing proves that the best physiques come from enhancing your strengths, not hiding them. Number 3. Captain America, Steve Rogers, the super soldier who represents the absolute peak of what human genetics can achieve. Before you say, "but the serum," remember, the serum only amplified what was already there. Rogers had the heart of a fighter even when he was a 90-pound weakling. The super soldier serum didn't just make him bigger, it made him perfect. Perfect muscle fiber recruitment, perfect recovery, perfect strength-to-weight ratio. Cap's physique is what happens when you take the ideal training mindset and give it ideal genetics to work with. But here's the real lesson. Cap's strength comes from his mindset, not just his muscles. He never gives up, never takes shortcuts, and treats his body with the respect it deserves. The serum just gave him the tools to express that dedication. Real-world application: consistency beats genetics every time. Cap was willing to fight bullies when he weighed 90 pounds. That mindset is what built his physique, not the serum. Train like you already have the perfect body, and eventually you'll build something close to it. Number 4. Black Panther, T'Challa. The king who proves that royal blood means nothing without royal discipline. Enhanced by the heart-shaped herb, but trained from birth to be worthy of that enhancement. T'Challa had access to the most advanced training technology in the Marvel Universe, but more importantly, he had the discipline of royalty. When your entire life is preparation to lead a nation and protect it physically, you don't skip leg day. The heart-shaped herb enhanced his natural abilities, but those abilities were already at an elite level. We're talking about a man who was trained from childhood in combat, strategy, and physical conditioning. The herb just made him superhuman at what he was already excellent at. Real-world application: excellence in one area supports excellence in others. T'Challa's physical conditioning made him a better leader, and his leadership discipline made him a better athlete. Don't compartmentalize your life. Let your fitness discipline carry over into everything else you do. Number 6, Daredevil, Matt Murdock. The man who turned a disability into a superpower and built one of the most functionally athletic physiques in comics. Losing his sight forced him to develop every other aspect of his physicality to superhuman levels. Daredevil's training is unlike anyone else's. He has to rely on touch, hearing, and spatial awareness to navigate the world, which means his proprioception, his awareness of his body in space, is absolutely perfect. That translates to incredible coordination and muscle control. The enhanced senses give him an advantage, but they also require him to maintain peak physical condition to use them effectively. His body has to be a perfectly tuned instrument because he can't rely on sight to compensate for any weaknesses. Real-world application? The mind-muscle connection is everything. Daredevil's enhanced senses force him to feel every movement, every muscle contraction. That level of body awareness is what separates good physiques from great ones. Learn to feel your muscles working. Number 7, Green Arrow, Oliver Queen. The archer who proves that specialized training can create an incredibly impressive physique, even if it's not perfectly balanced. Those shoulders and lats didn't come from a gym. They came from drawing a 250-pound bow thousands of times. Queen's origin story is basically a masterclass in functional fitness, stranded on an island, forced to survive with nothing but a bow and his wits. That kind of training builds real strength, not gym strength. Every muscle developed for a specific survival purpose. The archery specialization created some incredible development. Drawing a heavy bow requires massive lat strength, rear delt development, and core stability. Plus, the precision training developed incredible focus and body control. Real-world application, specialized training can create impressive results, but don't neglect balance. Green Arrow's upper body is incredible, but he had to add martial arts training to round out his physique. Find your specialty, but don't ignore everything else. Number 8, Hawkeye, Clint Barton, the marksman who represents the ultimate in precision athletics. While Green Arrow is about power, Hawkeye is about endurance and consistency. This is what happens when you combine military conditioning with Olympic-level precision training. Barton's military background gave him the foundation, but his archery specialization refined it. We're talking about a man who can hit impossible shots while running, jumping, or hanging upside down. That requires incredible core strength and body control. The difference between Hawkeye and Green Arrow? Endurance. Queen is about power shots. Barton is about hitting perfect shots all day long. That requires a different kind of conditioning. Lean muscle, incredible cardiovascular fitness, and mental toughness. Real-world application? Consistency beats intensity. Hawkeye's physique comes from doing the same precise movements thousands of times. That kind of repetition builds both muscle memory and lean muscle mass. Perfect practice makes perfect physiques. Number 10. Iron Fist, Danny Rand, the martial artist who represents the perfect fusion of Eastern training philosophy and Western athleticism. Trained in the mystical city of Kunlun, enhanced by Qi, but built through decades of disciplined martial arts conditioning. Iron Fist's training combined the physical conditioning of martial arts with the mental discipline of meditation and Qi development. That creates a physique that's not just strong and flexible, but also incredibly controlled and precise. The Qi enhancement gives him superhuman abilities, but those abilities require perfect physical conditioning to channel effectively. You can't focus mystical energy through a weak or unbalanced body. The physical training enables the mystical enhancement. Real-world application? The mind-body connection is real. Iron Fist's training philosophy emphasizes meditation, breathing, and mental focus alongside physical conditioning. That holistic approach creates better results than just lifting weights or just doing cardio. Number 11, Robin, Tim Drake, the teenager who proves that starting young with proper training can create incredible results. Trained by Batman, naturally athletic, and with the recovery advantages of youth. Drake represents the perfect combination of physical and mental development. Batman's training methods applied to a naturally gifted teenager with the motivation to prove himself worthy of the Robin mantle. That combination creates rapid development in every area. The youth factor is huge here. Teenage recovery, natural flexibility, and the ability to learn new movement patterns quickly, plus the motivation that comes from training alongside your hero. That's a recipe for rapid physical development. Real-world application, start young if you can, but don't use age as an excuse if you can't. Robin's advantages come from consistency, proper coaching, and the motivation to constantly improve. Those factors matter more than age. Number 12. Falcon. Sam Wilson. The Air Force pararescue specialist who represents military conditioning at its finest. Enhanced by Wakandan technology, but built through military discipline and the unique conditioning requirements of aerial combat. Wilson's military background in pararescue created an incredible foundation. These are the guys who jump out of planes to save people in combat zones. That requires elite cardiovascular conditioning, functional strength, and mental toughness that most people can't imagine. The Wakandan flight suit enhanced his abilities, but it also created new training requirements. Flying in combat requires incredible core strength, spatial awareness, and the kind of conditioning that lets you fight effectively while managing three-dimensional movement. Real-world application? Military-style conditioning works because it's functional and purpose-driven. Every exercise serves a mission-critical purpose. That kind of training creates lean, capable physiques because there's no room for anything that doesn't contribute to the mission. Batman, Bruce Wayne. The man who proves that with enough money, discipline, and obsession, you can achieve the closest thing to physical perfection that's humanly possible. We're talking about 8% body fat, peak strength in every muscle group, and the kind of conditioning that lets you fight crime all night and run a corporation all day. Here's what most people don't understand about Batman's physique. It's not just about looking good. Every muscle serves a purpose. He's trained in 127 different martial arts, can bench press 1,000 pounds, and has the flexibility of an Olympic gymnast. That's not bodybuilding. That's functional perfection. Real-world application, Batman represents the ultimate in disciplined training. No shortcuts, no excuses, just consistent work across every aspect of fitness. Strength, cardio, flexibility, martial. The ranking is complete. 12 heroes who prove that being shredded isn't just about looking good, it's about building a body that can perform when it matters most.